Kia ora, welcome to my blog. I'm going to talk to you about muffins. I'm gonna cut Māori whanaungas and whānau. Don't make me laugh, please.
I find that, like, cause heaps of my cousins and like, I don't know, just like people, home is like, I don't know, we always have fights with our parents or whatnot, and then you just have a shitty time at home, and then you go to school and just do the same thing over again with the teacher.
My little cousin, she doesn't even live with her parents. She lives with her friend, like her best friend's family. Because she's very bright. She is a very bright soul.
We'll put it this way, 14% of New Zealand citizens are Māori, and half of prisoners in New Zealand are Māori. So that's like, we're like the tiniest percentage in New Zealand. Well, one of them anyways. And we're like the biggest in prison.
She has the potential to go fast, but her upbringing was the most... Her mum was an alcoholic, my auntie was an alcoholic. Her dad's been in and out of her life until a couple of years ago, so she thinks because of her upbringing she has nowhere to go, you know? 9, she's year 9. 12, 13.
Life can be hard at home, but you dictate your own future. Don't let those stereotypes that people say about Māoris and Pākehā stop you.
I reckon it all comes down to you, eh? Because I know some people that've had bad backgrounds when they were young, and now they're like rolling.
Ngāni Lamapi, he came from the old Seal 163 in the hood, and now look at him, he played for the All Blacks and the All Hurricanes.
Yeah.
And then even people that like do have shitty backgrounds and whatnot, they'll have heaps of talent, heaps of potential, but just because they don't have the right support, they just don't go anywhere. They could. They have the potential to. They could, like millionaire sports players or singers, whatnot, but then they just got no class, or they just, I don't know, no money, no...
Don't have the money to afford it, eh?
Or just even that other person just go do it! It's like, even enough.
And they're probably scared too because, you know, they probably have like this whole heat on them to be like their dad, who's like might be in a mogul mob or some shit, and they just want to follow in their footsteps, but they're too scared to go out of their boundaries, you know?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to disappoint, whereas in reality they would actually like make their parents proud or something like that, you know? Well, having a bad background puts you, like, you have no one to help you out, and you have no one to encourage you to do things. You don't have any money, you barely have a house, and how could that, you know, how could that surrounding help you be better in life? I don't know.
Yeah, and you end up just not caring about anything, really.
Yeah,
You just don't care if you end up in a fight, end up hurting someone, because that's just what you've been doing your whole life, really.
I was like that at year 9. I had the shittest home ever, and I came to school and I was ditching class, talking back to the teachers, hiding. I was such a little shit back then.
Well, how's about? Start of this year was pretty hard. Like at the start of this year, one of the bros that was living with us, and the bro was living over at our house, and he was like in Surf's family, and that wasn't there, which was like bummer. Parents passed away, siblings have their own lives, have their own kids, and he was staying over at his Sif's mum's house. And then stuff over there was hitting the fan, so then me and mum pretty much offered for him to come stay over at ours, and then which was all good. Like the first few weeks were like mean as, but because of like the type of person that he was, and then him like being in Surfs and like growing up the way he grew up, he wasn't like me or the rest of us. Like you couldn't treat him like the way you would treat just anyone else. He was like a damaged child, so.
Damaged soul.
Yeah, and he wasn't everyone's cup of tea. Like he got kicked out of so many places, like so many houses of we stayed at, and it got to a point where even my mum kicked him out, and from there it was like, well, actually I'm gonna cut that. No, it even got to a point where he ended up leaving because of like family issues that was going on with like me, mum, him, and like just things weren't mingling. And then because things weren't mingling at home, he ended up homeless, didn't go to school, was like homeless for about a week while looking after another friend, and then no money, and then on top of that trying to get a hold of SIFs, but because of this whole SIFs thing, SIFs just decided to like abandon him low-key, but then it was kind of his fault, but then because he's a young, dumb, it was all over the place. But yeah, there's like, because of all of that, he had opportunities and opportunities that he could take, but like I said, not everyone else's cup of tea, or not everyone's or just because of all of those factors, it's just
he just has no hope in himself, doesn't he?
And just those opportunities wasn't even a focus. It was too busy worrying about survival rather than
his future.
Rather than his future. Rather than worrying about what's going to happen next week, he's just worrying about what's happening right now and how he's going to live today. It's just wretched. And then on top of that, like, to see someone else crumble makes me crumble.
Well, I'm actually extremely grateful for the way that I've been brought up myself. Like, I've gotten so many opportunities and I take them for granted, and I see like other kids and I hear about them, and they're like one in a lifetime opportunities, and I just say like, no thanks, but like to them it's a big deal. So when I first get them, I just think, oh, every other kid gets these, so I'm like, no. But then when finding out they're like all the things that I get and how ungrateful I sound, it just like makes myself seem like I'm a bad person. Like, most Māori, well, not most, some feel scared to open up to others, and that's why sometimes they don't get support, because when they have no support at home and they think like they do have friends with them, but they think they can't talk about it with them, it's quite hard for them. And when like you're trying to open up to them so they can open up to you, they like still they just don't want to open up to you.
Even I was like that for a while. Like, there was a bit where me and my mum were going through a bit of trust issues, and because of that I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone, and I like held it in for ages, and like to a point where like Tills would just like come up to me and be like, Mark, poke in the shoulder, bang, pissed me off. I'm like almost crying. Like, that's how weak because I held it in and I didn't let it out, rather than talking. Like, it was, if I talked to someone and actually like, then maybe I could have at least got it off my chest to not blow up next time.
Yeah, that was like me once. Because you know how we finish at like 4:45 and then we don't get home till like 5:36. I get there home at like 6 and I have to do all these dishes. Like, I'm fine with doing dishes, but not when I had to make sure my siblings had baths and whatnot. I bottled it in for like a whole year and a half, and then one day I came home from touch and I just cried my eyes out for like a whole hour. And then I knew I could have talked to someone, but I felt ashamed.
Yeah, and I didn't want to. Like, I just refused to. Like, nah, I don't want to talk to you. Like, unless you've been through what I'm going through, and unless you know,
hard.
like how hurt. Like, I'm not gonna open up to you, bro. It's like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, literally.
Even for me, like, I'm like talking. I find that hard. Like, I try. And even it's hard, but even just being there, just sitting next to me, or just company, or just being there for a person is enough. Like, you don't have to say anything. You can just sit next to them, or just something.
Even if
comfort.
Because some of my friends will just sit there and ask them, okay, if I go, yeah, and I don't want that. I want them to just sit there, do their work right next to me, just so I know that they're there. Like, that was my mana. Mana would always just sit there and he would just look at me, and I know that he's there for me.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't need to say anything. He would just need to sit there, and I just...
Yeah, and it's okay. Like, company's enough.
Yeah, hard.
Now, the biggest thing that we need to change is school.
Well, other than home and family environments and stuff, for kids, really, the only other thing that can probably impact your life as much is school, because you're spending how many hours at school a day other than home?
And I think teachers, like, they only just want to teach us then leave, like, go back home.
Yeah, there are
I
some
think-
teachers like that too. I've had some bloody real arsehole of a teachers before. How are you?
I think they just need to, like, care about us, because if they care about us, it'll make our schooling more of a better school.
Yeah, and or like have a personal bond with your students.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like full on you're there for them all the time. It could just be like checkups, and like you don't have to create a bond with every student, but like the ones who actually need it.
For the bro that was living with us, I mean, aside from home situations and surfs and family and all of that, school was like the only place that actually got his mind off things. So like our friends and just even doing assessments or like having an argument with the teacher.
Fun days or whatnot.
Or like just, all of that took his mind off stuff that was at home. So school, like, he wanted to go to school, and even now he wants to come back to school. So it's like, heaps of the teachers at Tutua have like a personal bond with pretty much all the students out of school, like, and even with students with each other, like we're all family here. Because it's like that, it's more homey at school. It's not like, oh, okay, I have to get up and go to school. It's like, now it's, oh yeah, I'm going to see my bros today, I'm going to go to school. Or, oh yeah, I'll get my work done and now I'm going to go hang out with my friends. Or like, it's not, school doesn't feel like we're dragging our heels every day anymore. School isn't a prison, but most Māori students see it that way, literally. School is the last place that any Māori student wants to be at, pretty much. Or just student in general, I guess. I don't know. I know heaps of students that don't like school. I was one of them.
I'm one of them.
Until we came to this school, started loving it. Can trust all the teachers. But like after hours, like as soon as you leave school, boom, that's when it all starts. 3 o'clock, not 5:30 like us. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock because
with us, we finish at 5:30. We have a shower, we eat, we're tired, and we just want to go
that's
to
why
sleep.
I'm so happy about the way that our school runs. Is I wake up pretty much at 6:30 in the morning, get to school at 7:30, and I don't get home till like 4:45, 5:30. And by then, because I've done school, 2 trainings, and now I've got my classes and whatnot, and assessments that I'm already doing, I'm pretty much
And with
by
like,
the time I get home.
and like with these youth space kind of things, it'll make them get off the streets. Because I know when I was at Monrad, we finished at 3. I'd be boom all the way cruising in the hood, thinking I'm all that, thinking I'm this, I'm that. I'll be doing stupid shit. Whereas if I came here, I'm tired by like 4 o'clock.
Yeah. I don't got the energy to go and do that, but
And because I know I hated being at home, like I hated it so much. I had drug parents, I had an alcoholic, I have to look after 2 younger siblings, and I hated being home. And if I had this youth space when I was, a kid, it would have helped me a lot, because I just hated being at home so much.
It's kind of like wretched in a way.
You can just say it.
It's like most Māoris you find the like drug dealers, they're in the Mango Mob, they're in like gangs. Like they should, before that they even get those thoughts, like schools should be like helping them, giving them different opportunities, so then like when they come home and their parents, like if they pressure them into doing something they don't want to do, they're like, oh no, I'd like to do this, I'd like to be this. And like, so my cousin wants to be a farmer, and the school he was at previously wouldn't help him, like support him to be that. So he got into all these like bad dramas. He nearly got into a gang, and like he was just going downhill. And I feel like schools really should like support, and if they want to be a farmer, then they should tell them go for it, and they should give them like the education that they need for when they grow up. And if they do become a mum or a dad, they can be proud and be like, tell their child, you know what, just go for it.
the only problem with that though is that like
Not all schools can cater for
Yeah, and not all schools are like that.
opportunities,
Like
yeah.
there's some teachers that are just there for the money and not so much for the students. And and even then, like how she was saying that when her cousin wanted to be a farmer or whatever, there's like some teachers and stuff, like, yeah, they didn't support him to be a farmer. Rather than that, they just forced him to go into the same classes that every other student is doing, even though he's got no passion or no reason to be there.
I want to be either maybe looking after babies, looking after old people, something to do with rugby, and maybe something to do with technology. And I have all of that on my ITLP, but, you know, and like other schools don't do that. They just go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here's English, here's maths, here's science.
Here's
There's-
biology, here's
Yeah,
business
I
studies.
feel like some schools have a system that's or not purposely, but it's set up in a way where most Māori students fail.
Fail.
Like pretty much, yeah.
The teachers are failing Māoris.
And like that
Just not our tutor.
Well, when I was 9, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to be, and then not until like now.
Yeah. Like when I came to TT, I didn't like school. Like intermediate, when I was at intermediate, my schooling sucked back then. So when I came here, I already had the mind frame that school sucks. It just sucks. But then, like now that we've made all of these changes recently, with the whole iLab stuff and music room and new guitars and new computers.
You just think if your primary school sucks, intermediate's gonna suck, and then if intermediate sucks, you just think high school's gonna suck. We actually, I had that running through my head, and then I came here and the environment was like a family. We're all close.
Sometimes, like, teachers kind of dictate whether or not a kid is going to be successful or not. If they want to put the time and effort into helping that student to be something, then like they need to be passionate and be able to like be there for them.
Yeah, and teachers also need to like, I know at other schools the teachers just say what they think and they don't think before they say it. Like it might actually hurt that person, but here they know everyone's backgrounds. That's why I think other kids should come to this school, or we should have more schools like this and more teachers. Maybe our teachers are just the bomb, eh?
And yeah, I think just teachers just need that passion in them, because it would be pointless for you just to teach people who are struggling and not do anything about it. And like, not saying that you have to, but it'll help them a lot if they just know that you're there. And even if like they're going through something on that day, you as teacher should be aware about it, because something about what that teacher would say could really tick them off.
It would just be a bonus if all the teachers in around Aotearoa will not learn, but know a bit about their students, so they know what to say, how to help them, if they need a break.
Make an effort to understand and know the characteristics about your student.
And it'll make life much easier, because if the student's happy and the teacher's happy, the day will just go smoothly. Whereas if the student might be, going through some things and the teacher's just there just to teach, it would be a rough week, a rough day. So I think it would help a lot more if your teachers just, got more involved with us, and it will just make life go a lot smoother, because you know what that person's going through and you know how to help, or if you don't, you just be there for that student.
I feel like with my friend that was living with me, I guess what the government could do to help him is to change the system with SIFs. For him, it feels like that they're forcing him to walk down a path that they want him to walk down, not what he wants to do and what will benefit him and what he wants and what he's passionate about. It's like SIFs is doing their job because it's their job, not because they want to help him. And so, just actually finding workers that are passionate about helping rangatahi, or actually paying attention and listening to our rangatahi. But for the students though, for my peers and people, if you want things to change, you got to change yourself. There's It starts with you. Nothing's going to change unless you do something about it.
You can't expect people to change their everything just for you. You need to
make that change yourself.
We're not asking to just rely on the teachers and the politicians, but we're just asking if they could just help us, If they could just help. But yeah, it does come down to you in trying to fix yourself. But that's just,
We're not asking you to give us everything. We're just asking you to listen and just to take on board what we're trying to get to you and what we're trying to say about our rangatahi who are struggling.
And understand and realise what the actual problem is, and that there is a problem in the first place.
high school is going to set you up for the future. Once you leave school and you've completed everything, I think you'll be just fine once you hit that adult world. Ake amene. I reckon though, Now, my message for those who are watching is if you have an opportunity, just take it.
Just go for gold. Just go for gold, brother. I just think that if your first try doesn't go as planned, just keep on trying.
I just think to just go for everything, have no regrets, and live with no regrets. Just back yourself. You've got this.
If I had to give advice to anyone, would be try not to be stubborn. I know it's hard to talk and it's annoying, but just do it. And I reckon that should come first before anything, before your schooling, before your education, before anything, is your mental state. If you're not okay, then rest. Make sure you're okay first before you do anything and commit yourself to anyone. And I reckon teachers and people need to understand that as well. Is that it's this first. If this is okay, then this will be okay.
And just to I don't know. You know how you have bad backgrounds, not to let that stop you. Because I know when I was struggling, I was like, oh, this is just me. I'm just going to be this. I'm just going to be that. I'm just going to be like my parents. And now look at me. I've actually gone that extra few steps. And I've become this beautiful Rangatahi. No, I've just become something better than what my parents have. And I'm forever grateful for this school that is turning me the right side up.
Yep, this school definitely changed me in my life, I reckon. If it wasn't for the school, I reckon half the people here wouldn't have all the opportunities that they've gotten,
And the support that the teachers give us, and not only the teachers but our peers around us, because we are a low number of a school, we have a better connection compared to other people who go to a school with 1,500 students and only have a limited amount of friends,
Yeah, we're not like any other school.
We're the mighty tutor.
Yeah, mighty tutor.
I just wanted to be a good role model for my younger siblings, and I didn't want to turn out how our parents are still. And because I had to look after my youngest brother, it made me mature at a young age, as if it made me click. And then coming to the school, having the right support system made me feel like I can accomplish more with the amount of support that I got from these teachers, because if I didn't have the support, I think I'd be in the dumps doing God knows what, hanging out with who knows who. And I just think the school just made me click and realise that I have the potential to go somewhere.
Oh, what advice would you give to people that feel like they're in this position?
I think you just need a push, because I know when I was struggling, I just felt nothing, and when I came here, it just made me push to be a better person, and I think that's what they need to do. Just push to be a better person, push to be a good role model for your young siblings, or if you're youngest, just push to be better than your older siblings. Because I know that's what I want to be. I want to be better than my parents and my older brothers, and be a good role model for my younger generation so they can follow in the footsteps of a great role model, whereas if they follow in the footsteps of our parents, then they're just going to go downhill. Because the kids are our future, and if there's no kids to put into that future, then there's just going to be no future for them.
Yeah, they're the leaders for tomorrow.
Ko mātou ngā rangatahi moa pōpō.
We all know that this isn't going to happen overnight, but us together, we are strong and we can make a change for the better and for our future.
And with even what we're doing right now, like, it's not going to change overnight, but what we're doing right now, it's a good start.